Hello, friends. Welcome to the Epic Alchemy Podcast, episode 17. I'm your host, Jill Davenport, and today I want to talk about what if disappointment was part of your success strategy. The other day, I was thinking, it was a few months ago actually, I was thinking about something that I wasn't putting out and like a post, or I don't remember what it was. It was like a workshop, I think, that I wanted to do, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it. And I was thinking, like, why am I having so much resistance to this? And I was just really like going through, I was really overwhelmed with a lot of things, and I was like, what is this feeling? Like, what is going on here? And so I really like let myself process my emotions around it. And I figured out that there was this old fear of rejection. And and I went back and I found there was like all these times that it showed up like through my childhood, like all this rejection that came up during my childhood. And then I processed it and I felt it. And as I came out of it, I was thinking, well, okay, I can either experience less rejection by not showing up the way that I really want to and need to for what I want to create, or I can experience rejection and have what I want. So if I say I want to have $1 million business, so I can either feel less rejection, or I can have $1 million business and I actually need to experience more rejection. So I was like, well, if you put it that way, actually, yes, I do. I need to experience more rejection. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's my choice. It's like, that's what I want. If I want this thing, I have to experience more rejection. And then it just made it like, yeah, of course. Of course I'm going to do that. Of course I'm going to experience more rejection. And just figuring that out and putting it that, because a lot of times these things run in the back of our heads. And I know that a lot of my clients, and probably you too, are just have this sort of like underlying fear of putting yourself out there, or getting rejected in some way. And on the other, and so rejection it usually leads to feeling disappointed. And so I want to talk about the twofold ways of that, because there's feeling disappointed ourselves and disappointing other people. So as an ambitious empath, um, we tend to not want to hurt other people's feelings, not want to let people down, and also not feel, of course, disappointed with not getting what we want. I think that's kind of just a common uh, a universal thread for most people. But if we break it down into the disappointment, and we can take the charge away from that and just know that, like, of course, we know, like, when we really think about it, like, of course, there's going to be disappointments. But oftentimes, people will avoid so much, and really like avoid their dreams and avoid the things that they really want to create, that they can create a bigger impact and really get them what they really want in life, because they have this fear of being disappointed. And so they will I will say, I have this too coming, that comes up sometimes, and it's really like this subconscious thing sometimes. I think, like, we don't even realize that we are playing small because we don't want to be disappointed, or we don't want to disappoint other people. So I want to reframe disappointment a little bit. So just notice if there's something that you're avoiding because you're afraid you're going to get rejected, or that you're going to be judged, or that you're not going to get it. Like, actually, like putting your hat in the ring for something, like that you feel like maybe you're not ready for, or you're the competition is too tough, or whatever. And do you avoid putting your hat in the ring for it, putting your name in the hat or whatever, with a possibility that you could get picked, but it is likely that you might not, and that's disappointing. That would be disappointing, and you don't know if you can handle the disappointment. So disappointment is something is a feeling, I guess. It's so it's it's not really a feel. I would say it is a feeling, but disappointment happens usually with something that we expect or hope for, and the hope or expectation is not met. Now, when that happens, you can look at different scenarios of this happening, and I want to show you that this is actually comes from a thought that you have. And the thought may be so ingrained in it that it just happens automatically and you don't know what the thought is around it. But we can get rejected for something, like, say, if it's sort of like low stakes or whatever, like, do you want a slice of pizza? You can ask someone and they can say no, and you can have no feelings about that. You can go, okay. But you can also ask somebody if they want to buy your thing or your sign up for your service, and they can say no. And it becomes very disappointing because it feels like a personal rejection, but it's not. So if you look at the different ways that disappointment or the things that people that they can say no to, and your different feelings, like feeling disappointed or just feeling neutral, it's because you have attached a meaning to it. So how can we take the charge off of this disappointment or just get really good at feeling disappointment? Disappointment is like a lot of other emotions. There's, comfortable, there's some fun emotions, like the happy, whatever, excited. And then there's some emotions that are more uncomfortable, like disappointment, sadness, anger, like all that. But if we can get really good at being able to process through any emotion that comes up, then the world is our oyster. So because you'll show up for more things, you'll do, put yourself out there more, because if it doesn't happen, one, you can either get disappointed and go, okay, I feel disappointed, and that's okay. That's fine. Like I feel it and it's okay and it'll pass. Or you'll start feeling less disappointed with rejection because you get used to it and you say, okay, it's not personal. Like, next, what's the next thing? I'm just doing it. And the more things that we do, the more times that we put ourselves out there, if we get good at feeling okay with disappointment, not making it mean uh, like this horrible thing that we're just a terrible person and nobody loves us and all of that. And then we can experience the disappointment and keep going. The more opportunities that you put yourself out there, the less charge it has, because it's like, what's the next thing? What's the next? Okay, we're going to the next. Now, I will say, as somebody who's a former actor, who is an empath, who is sensitive, it can be like, if you don't process the emotions, then does start to carry weight. Like, as you get rejected more and more, then it's important to process that. And what I mean by process it is just sit there for it. Like, don't try to run away from it. Don't try to buffer, or use scrolling or do something else to forget about it, until you've really felt it, until you've really said, okay, I feel disappointed. What does that feel like? Let me feel it in my body. Let me actually experience the disappointment. Maybe you need to cry. Maybe you need to write about it. Maybe there's something that needs to come out. Maybe you need to talk about it, and see what so oftentimes there's something underlying with that, like, oh, this reminds me of another time that I got rejected for something, something, when I was a kid or whatever. And then bringing that out and saying, okay, that makes sense. I totally, understand. And then, but once it's able to process, which is like to move through your body, to be heard, then it can, it's free to go. So it really doesn't have to last that long, but it can last as long as it takes. But it's usually not that long. And then you're able to move on and you're not carrying it with you. So that's the first disappointment. Like, what are you avoiding because you don't want to be disappointed? And And then the second thing is disappointing other people. So if you are someone who has something to put out in the world and you're like overthinking it and you're like, I really want to put this out, but is anybody gonna like it? Are people gonna think that what is, what's she doing? Why is she doing this right now at this time? Like, I can't believe there's so much going on or whatever. And thinking that who am I to put this out? Like, what are people going to think? People are going to, or I'm going to put something out and it's not going to be good enough. It's not going to serve people in the way that I really want. And I'm afraid that I'm going to disappoint people or that people are going to be unhappy. Or if I change what I'm doing, if I'm doing something now and I want to do something different, like it's going to disappoint a certain group of people. It's going to disappoint people that I work with. It's going to disappoint my family or whatever it is. And that is stopping you. What if this is just the way, this is what has to happen? You can't have everybody be happy with what you're doing. You can't satisfy everyone. Nobody has 100% client satisfaction rate for whatever it is, any like product, any service. There's always going to be something that is out of alignment. And this one is actually like a personal, like, it's really hard for me because I value customer service and like client experience so much. Like when I was a massage therapist, like I had my room and um, when I would get new things or whatever, I would always walk through the office and into my room and sit where a client would sit, get on the table like a client would, and just like listen for the sounds and experience things like as a person that was coming in to have a session with me. And so a client experience has always been like very high. I've always wanted to serve at a very high level. So this one is hard for me, and it may be hard for you too. But even when I was so conscious of and so concerned with that, I still had people that it just wasn't a good fit for, and that's just the way it is. And that's you can't be for everyone. And some people are going to be disappointed that you are not staying the same as you've always been. And, like old friends that you've had for a long time, like maybe they feel jealous or whatever. If you're starting to do something else and you're becoming successful, they're going to be disappointed. And because they're going to have to either like, they're going to be like, you're not the same. I want you to stay the same always. And I'm staying the same or whatever. But this is just part of growth. And it's part of success. Disappointment is part of success. Disappointing other people and disappointing yourself. Now, we don't have to be intentionally disappointing people, but of course, or disappointing ourselves, but being more comfortable with the disappointment and also like feeling the feelings of other people being disappointed with us or being disappointed about us doing something that they don't like or whatever, you're getting too big for your britches, all that kind of thing. Thinking about it as this is part of the path. I think it's really helpful. It's helpful for me. I think it's helpful to think about it that way. It's necessary and like leaning into getting more of it potentially, like especially getting more disappointment yourself, because that means that you're taking more shots. If you have more disappointments, you're putting yourself out there, you're taking more shots, you are um, just doing more things. And that's what it takes to get the thing that you want, to accomplish your dreams, to go big. And so if you don't want to feel it, that's okay too. If you decide, if you come to that crossroads of like, do I want to feel less disappointment or do I want to get the thing that I want? Maybe you decide that you want to feel less disappointment. You're still going to feel disappointment though. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but you can process it. But that's your crossroads to pick but I just wanted to share that with you in case it's something that you need to hear, that maybe there's like this avoidance of disappointment running in the background of and stopping you from really doing what you want and going full out and just going for it. So that's what I have to share with you today. Also, I don't know if you're going to hear this in time, but I have a workshop that's coming up this week. It's called Intention to Action, where we are getting something that you've been thinking about doing, you've been wanting to do it for a while, and you just haven't taken action. You've been overthinking, you've been perfectionist potholing, you've just been like stalling on it, and you want this to be your year that you do it. It's almost the Lunar New Year, the year of the horse. And we're going to get started right before that. So we're going to get you into action in the simplest way possible. That's what I want to focus on this year. This is like, I think this is my word of the year. I still haven't decided because I'm a Lunar New Year person, but simple, simplifying everything, just keeping it really simple. It doesn't mean it's easy, but simple. Just let's not overcomplicate things. Let's create the simplest thing for you to do to start working on that dream, to get you going on that thing that you've been wanting to do, whether it's starting a podcast, writing a book, building a course, whatever, going on a trip. It doesn't matter. There's something that you've been wanting to do that you've been like, it's on the back burner. I'll do it next year. And that's been like a few years, or maybe you just thought of it last week. It doesn't matter. Come to my workshop. It's free. It's on Wednesday. And I will help you to get moving, get rolling, and create something that you can keep doing and get to where you want to go. All right. That's what I got for you. I will link to the workshop in this podcast and the show notes. And I hope to see you there. All right. That's what I got for you today. All right. Bye.